hear me? Welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us today. It's been incredible. NFT.NYC is such a movie. And yeah, shout out to you, Omar, for joining me too. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. How have you been to any parties as well? Enjoyed?
No, I don't do the party thing too much. But since we're here, we're going to have a one-on-one conversation about this up. And we're just going to get to know who we are and what we provide for this space.
Absolutely. So I will start. My name is Victor. I'm just someone you know on all the social medias. I mainly use Twitter and Orange Beef guy. You may know me. I'm a founder of Stone Tigers, and Web3 Midnight is the show that I'm running, working currently for TheFanNJ, which is one of the largest cryptos in the world. And yeah, just love what I do. I do it out of fun and passion. Another thing is, I started with the media as something I did more as a hobby, and then eventually it evolved into being now my full-time job. So I've been keeping an eye on the trends and utilizing that, testing it on my page on Twitter, and that's how I got to 50,000 followers, where now I do have all this knowledge on how to, and finally getting jobs at great companies and providing more value with this information that I learned as a hobby. So that's a little bit about me. I've been collecting a lot of NFTs, been hosting a lot of spaces, networking with dope people, and attending lots of events as well. So that's not my first one, but it's the first time in the US, and thank you guys for such a warm welcome.
Great, great. Well, this is my first time doing these discussions. And mostly me, I've created an NFT or a project called Macmedia. And when I developed it, I wanted to see how far to go in terms of what I wanted to see with Macmedia in space. And NFTs became part of what we do because it's the anime. And in terms of anime, a lot of people don't understand or know what anime is about, and they don't know how to get their animes developed in the correct and right way. What we did, or how I did it with my NFT, is I registered it first. And once I registered it with the state that I'm from, it became a domain. So that means it's owned by me. No one can touch it. And anyone of the ones that wants to get a part of it would have to come to me first instead of going the other way around. And that's pretty much.
Yeah, well, the Web3 domains is a very interesting topic, and I believe everyone shall have different ones across different chains. For example, all of us know .eth domains, right? For example, I do own someone you know .eth, so if you want to send some NFTs, feel free to just type someone you know .eth and send it over. But then I also expanded with that to different chains. Like I've got domains registered on Solana. I also got some from the Unstoppable domains.
But when you register on Solana, how is it secure? Is it your ecosystem or is it Solana?
It is still the part of some ecosystem. At this point, the domains and Web3 domains are just getting started. So truly owning that, you still do that through the platform that is provided. But I like how decentralized it is. Because in this manner, when you go about the regular domains, you go to, let's say, a GoDaddy or Google Domains or any other, and you register, you can still purchase it from someone else. Where if you own an NFT domain, there is no way anyone could utilize that. But then having them on different chains is important. And on Solana, it is very similar to the Ethereum domains. I personally, own them also on Tezos and on Tom Network. So I have domains from 4 or 5 different blockchains at least. Because if that's going to become a really big thing into the future, I want to own all the rights for someone you know. And this is how I go about that.
Is it a key way to register it with, you're not from the United States, right?
No, I'm not from the United States.
Well, in the United States, the best way for you to do that is you will register it to your state. And if you register it to your state that you live in, it keeps the domain directly to you where you don't have to challenge for copyrights or any other thing. And that's more important. What people need to know is that you can create your NFT and you can also register it with your state that you're from, and it becomes your individual property, your individual collection.
Yeah, I mean, I hope everyone at this point does own some domains. And if someone is new to this topic and you're not familiar, At the time when ENS just came out, they start getting a lot of traction and people start buying kind of important domains like belonging to other companies and 500 Fortune companies in the US, all the huge Web3 brands like OpenSea and etc., which eventually led to the fact of certain things happening. Like with OpenSea, they had to buy their ENS domain for 50 or 60 Ethereum eventually from someone because someone already registered OpenSea.eth. And they had no other choice but to actually go settle down and pay the price for it if they really wanted to use it, which of course for the big brand does make sense. Like imagine if Amazon.com wasn't Amazon.com, but would be Amazon.com slash, I don't know, cookies, right? Just because they couldn't get the normal .com domain. They had to go for something else, or they went for IO or whatever, but then that wouldn't represent them as well. So in the Web3 it's a similar thing. Besides it's just the visual factor for your identity, it is a huge marketing tool. That's how I look at this. So for businesses, it is important to develop this foundation to get ready for whenever people actually start opening up their minds to the Web3. I believe this is only starting happening now, where we have a long journey to go. And I'm very excited, and I want to see how businesses do implement the Web3 and NFT domains into what they already have. Do you have any thoughts on that, about businesses integrating Web3 domains? What do you think of it?
Well, it's a new field for a lot of the businesses.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not getting into it because of the process with the SEC, or how the community or outside of what we have here views NFTs. They really don't want to go into that route. That's why I created this securing your identities. So if you secure your identity by registering it with your state and doing the process of making it more of an IP deed or more of a intellectual property, you will be able to get those companies to come in and be interested in what your project is more about.
Hell yeah. I'm bullish on the Web3 domains. Overall, everyone, I suggest you check out all of them. Get yourself an ENS domain, get yourself DNS on Ton, get yourself Solana ENS domains too, and get an unstoppable ones because you can link them up to your Polygon wallet, do all of it. Because eventually, like my friends asking me very often, if they just started crypto, hey, how can you send me some money? What do I need to give you? And I'm like, this code. And they're like, how am I supposed to remember that? And I was like, exactly, that's the point. That's why you need those Web3 domains. So that for you, that would be an easy step to just as typing as your username on Instagram, let's say, and someone sending you money or sending you your NFT, whatever you want, which is very powerful tool. Once again, do you use Web3 domains in your day-to-day life, or like transacting with people, with your friends maybe, or anything like that?
Well, I'm more basically Web 2, but Web3 is a little bit beyond what I'm trying to do. It wouldn't correlate to anything that I currently work with.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit also, what do you work on? What is your full-on perspective onto the ENS and Web3 domains and NFT domains?
Well, when you put your project into one of these places like OpenSea, it's not your ecosystem. You're still part of their ecosystem. So if you secure it by owning your own domain, that ecosystem that you put into OpenSea or Ethereum, it's yours. So that means Ethereum or OpenSea would have to come to you to either remove the project or to provide equity.
Yeah, well, I believe ENS domain is not necessarily about the equity, but this is important to mention. How is that the visibility aspect? And then for any business, building up their brand is essential. And this is what allows it to be done in the decentralized manner, where no one can say, by the way, we keep getting those emergency alerts, earthquake in NYC, aftershocks may be lifted, and wires can continue usual activities. Thank you, the government of the United States. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, speaking of, how did you get into the Web3 domains? Like, how did you first time heard about them?
Well, like I said, I'm building a NFT called Media.
Yeah.
And it's an actual 3D animating type of process. And while we were building it, we sent out cool videos to different platforms in different spaces. And just a community, people from Web3 came over, and we've just been correlating and with that atmosphere.
Okay, I got you. Well, with me, that was a little bit different journey. I came into the space, and I was actually so annoyed with those 0x addresses. It was like, there's got to be a better way. And then everyone started talking about this hype of the ENS domains, and some of my friends, like Alsa, by the way, he's now working at the OpenAI, got a job recently, shout out to Alsa. And he was the one that was so bullish, and it was like, lol, man, I'm just sitting there registering all those domains, I'm going to be selling to all those companies. At the time, I thought that was just, you know, another hype train that is getting fast. But eventually, that became a really huge thing. It happened similar way with the ordinals eventually too, where it's